AI is coming. It's been here for a little bit, but we've gone too far probably to roll it back. And I don't think we should roll it back even if we could. In order to upgrade our civilization, we really need to consider how we can intermesh what we're doing with AI in a way that is symbiotic and helps us move forward in a way that is also healthy. There are a lot of things, and certainly this kind of falls to our government, but I think we also, on a personal level, have to think about it. If we're going to have AI be part of our lives, which I open the door to, there are a number of ways that we can find to support ourselves and also kind of run around the problem that we're about to encounter with AI. Welcome to the Higher Human Podcast. Today we're talking all about AI, how it's going to affect your job, how it's going to affect your life, and how it can benefit us. And it's going to be scary and it's going to be a roller coaster ride for a bit, but I think we'll find that ultimately we benefit if we learn to look at this the right way. So let's dive in. So I looked into it. It seems as though about a minimum of 20% of our jobs will disappear in the next 10 years or so. I personally think it could happen a lot faster than that, especially when we're talking larger corporations. Going to AI and automation, we're talking data analytics, data entry, writing, manufacturing, screening, processing. A lot of those jobs they're just going to go. They're going to get taken over by AI. And for corporate America, I think that really is going to happen fast. I think we already see it starting to happen. Last year, we had the Writers Guild and the SAG strikes. A lot of people super worried about AI, not only just writing and replacing them as writers, even for the actors, using someone's likeness and doing whatever, the studios want with it. Very real threats to people's jobs and moral concerns, things like that going on. So AI is going to affect us in a major way. And we already kind of see, as a result of the strikes and some of the concerns that auto workers have right now, a lot of unionization happening there, not just centered around pay and benefits, but also the future of these industries and what's going to happen as tech and AI start to infiltrate these arenas even more. Now, when it comes to, how fast is that going to happen? How fast is this shift going to happen? When am I going to lose my job? I certainly can't answer that. But if you're one of the fields that I just mentioned before, you've really got to be thinking about it. Now, I think personally that we have like a 10-year window, and certainly within the first 5 years, we're going to see the biggest effect. Think of larger corporations dwindling various departments down to a skeleton crew, and your skill is not going to be so much doing the job that you used to do if you're going to keep working for a company like this. The types of people filling in a lot of these jobs that AI is going to take over, that will run like these departments, most of their job is going to be quality control on the AI and also just knowing what commands to give it. And I think for big corporations, that could happen pretty fast. Like I said, probably inside 5 years. Now, how quick that shift goes from major corporation to mid to smaller size companies, just privately owned companies, that's a little speculative, but I really feel as though it depends on how quickly AI becomes affordable. And sure, we definitely have ChatGPT, but ChatGPT can't just do it all by itself. It would take somebody who really had a lot of know-how to make that happen. We're probably going to see a big boom in tech industry trying to create AI platforms that are really easy to use. The closer we can get to an easy to use and easy to build, all around fully encompassing whatever needs that any particular company has for the owner, or for them to hire somebody and do it relatively quickly and inexpensively to build them whatever kind of AI they might need for their particular business. It depends on how quickly we go from where we are now to much simpler platforms, much more broad platforms where you can kind of check a box and select what kinds of automation and what kinds of AI you kind of need for your business. For it to spit you out a result I think something like that would probably revolutionize AI for your smaller businesses. So I don't think anybody really knows how quickly it's going to happen. However you look at it, if you're new in your career, if you're nearing the end of your career, and this is within reach of you in your profession, then it's something you have to be aware of. I wish I could say that I feel as though our government is prepared for this or has even really addressed it or considered it. We did have back in the 2020 election, Andrew Yang came forward, and his idea was he did a lot of research on this, and he was talking about a universal basic income. I really think that we might end up in a situation where, at least for some transitionary period, there are going to be so many people who lose their job and they're not really sure what to do for a while, that we might need to do something on a federal level to kind of keep people safe and keep people afloat as we adjust to this emerging reality. And I certainly don't want this to come across as a bell ringing for you to panic. I certainly don't think that should be your reaction to this. Here's the thing. AI is coming. It's been here for a little bit, but we've gone too far probably to roll it back. And I don't think we should roll it back even if we could. And the reason being, we've been doing more or less the same thing as a society for decades and decades and decades now. We have the ability to advance technologically, but we haven't taken that much advantage of it. We're still burning fossil fuels. We're still extracting natural resources very much at our own expense of our health, at the expense of our environment, and also at the expense of getting to a better place as a society and facing some of the issues that, whether or not we created them, we can argue about climate change and things like that all day. Whether or not we've created them, they're all certain things going on the planet that we need to resolve. As much as people are going to lose their current line of work as it stands with the emergence of AI, I think we're on the brink of making some massive leaps in technology. As a society, if we decide to have certain things automated, the things that frankly not many people like to do, very physical work, very difficult analytical work that unfortunately we're all human beings and there's errors and things like that, sometimes a computer can just do some of those things better for you. Now certainly AI is not perfect, as we've seen some of the drawings they make and some really strange stuff that kind of comes out. We've definitely got a lot of fine-tuning to do with AI. But taking some of that pressure, some of that workload that is tedious and time-consuming off of human beings, it has the effect of lessening the burden on us as humans to do things that are less desirable and kind of difficult to do all by ourselves with our one singular brain. And it kind of opens the door for us to explore what else is out there. And technology, new technologies is certainly one of those things. New industries as a result. We're very close to expanding space exploration programs, things like that. I really feel like we've got a lot of problem solving and a lot of figuring things out to do as AI kind of comes into play and starts to take over some of the things that we were doing. Simply put, human beings don't have to, nor should they really, do the same thing for their whole life. Don't sell yourself short. You have so many talents and skills and perspectives and expertise that could contribute to society in a way that you didn't really think of. We don't have to be doing just one thing. There are a number of ways that we can find to support ourselves and also kind of run around the problem that we're about to encounter with AI. Now, if you're in a field where AI may not necessarily affect you, it might not just come take your job like that, consider how, especially if you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, consider how AI and automation might actually really help your business and propel you forward kind of into this new age. We need to be thinking differently about the way we do things. If we decide that we're going to keep doing things the way we've been doing things just because that's the way we've been doing things, how does a society advance like that? They don't. It just doesn't happen. So we've just got to think bigger. For example, if you are a contractor, if I were you, I would be thinking about what you can automate in your workplace. That way you can increase your output. You can still hire a full crew and keep them moving and keep them on several projects. There are so many ways that AI and automation can help you. There are companies 3D printing homes right now with quite a bit of success. And I think that's going to be a huge area of trades, for example, that is going to really, really expand the field and improve it, revolutionize it. If you're a small business owner and you do a lot of office work, think about the things you could use AI to take a few things just off your plate. Maybe get a few things written for you that you struggle to find the time for, and then just proofread it. A lot of learning how to use AI in my experience is learning how to ask it the right questions or to tell it what to do the right way. And that certainly takes some fine tuning. In order to upgrade our civilization, we really need to consider how we can intermesh what we're doing with AI in a way that is symbiotic and helps us move forward in a way that is also healthy. There are a lot of things, and certainly this kind of falls to our government, but I think we also, on a personal level, have to think about it. If we're going to have AI be part of our lives, which I open the door to, we have to have a lot of difficult conversations about the morality of certain aspects of AI, about putting some checks and balances on technology so that we don't end up in a somewhat unforeseen or somewhat catastrophic end. And I don't really get into the whole AI is going to take over everything mentality at all. But, it doesn't mean that there aren't inherent dangers with every little thing that we do. And we have to just consider all of it. We do need to have very honest and very intentional conversations about what we're going to do to place some checks and balances on AI. Certainly, we want to make sure that morally we're doing the right things with it. As we know, corporations don't always make the best decisions that have to do with our well-being or their effect on the world. We have to have an honest conversation with ourselves about what intermeshing our lives with technology in an increasing manner like this, what we need to do to compensate for that so that we are not just these people living in a bubble that everything is done for us, we don't ever have to learn anything, and we're actually woefully unprepared for if our systems just fail us. If we lose electricity, if everybody loses electricity and there's no AI, will you be able to figure out a problem? Will you be able to problem solve? Will you be actually physically fit if you are someone who has developed a sedentary lifestyle because of the increase in technology that we have? They're all just things to think about. We have to consider AI as a potential benefit, but we also at the same time have to consider what we should be doing to compensate for that increase of technology in our lives, more so than we already have it. It's very important to me, and I think to many people, that we have a balanced perspective about the role of technology in our lives and not allowing ourselves to become, I guess, too soft might be the word. I feel like that term is overused, but to become too soft, to become so out of touch with reality that if there is no AI tomorrow and reality kind of hits us, that we'll be prepared for that and we can survive as a species. I recently read something talking about pigeons and how people look at pigeons with contempt, I guess, just kind of, they consider it a street rat of some kind. But what a lot of people don't know about pigeons is that we used pigeons for thousands of years to deliver messages. We domesticated them fully to the point where pigeons actually lost their ability to hunt. And that's why pigeons seem very comfortable walking up to a person to beg for food or kind of circling around your feet, picking at whatever they can find. Pigeons have evolved to basically forget their natural instincts. So their natural instincts now is to look to humans for help. And we failed pigeons. We fucked up. And it's kind of sad when I see pigeons to think about that, but it's true. It's an evolutionary tale of how things can go awry. We used one form of technology, and then electronics took over, and we dumped the pigeons because we didn't need them to be our phone anymore. And the pigeons are left twiddling their thumbs, not knowing what to do, because they don't have a job anymore, and they don't really have as many caretakers anymore. So, I use the pigeon as an analogy in here. I think that we need to just caution ourselves against making similar mistakes with our own evolution. Everyone seems to forget that we are bipedal hominids living on a rock that is flying through space at 1,000 miles an hour. Look it up. That's how fast the Earth moves. 1,000 miles an hour, just hurling through space. Like, we have to figure ourselves out. There's no one coming to do it for us, and we're in charge of this. So where we go with it is up to us. But whatever we do, whether it's with AI, whether it's with automation, whether it's with robotics, whether it's with whatever changes we decide to make in our society, we have to do them in a conscious way that allows us to improve our lives. So if you think that your job might be on the chopping block, consider what other skills you have. And consider what new emerging technologies or industries might be out there that you could lend your skills to. Inevitably, we are going to hit a phase where there's just a giant chunk of people that only really know how to do a few set things. And maybe some of those things are now going to be done by AI. And there's definitely going to be a phase where folks have to retrain. They've got to learn new skills. And that's okay. It will be understandably rough. And I think that it will be a little jarring at first for a lot of people to come to terms with that, I lost my job as a writer or in data entry. Like, I'll go find another job in data entry. I don't know about that. Becoming too attached to one thing might really do you a disservice when it comes to this topic. So don't be afraid to learn a new skill, to apply a skill you already have in a different way in a field that might be less affected. Sky's the limit. No matter what happens, it won't be the end of you. It will all be okay. And like I said, I think with all the emerging technology that we'll have, partially as a result of AI and automation, kind of freeing up the space, the time and the space for us to focus our lives on something different, there will be something out there for you, no matter what. And I know it's hard to hear me say that and feel confident about it yourself, but you have to have confidence that you have more to contribute to the world than your fingers on a keyboard or the 9-to-5 that you currently have. So be thinking about AI and how it might affect you in the near future, and prepare yourself accordingly. If so, learn some new skills, think about what else you might want to do. And if you're in a field that you feel like AI could maybe benefit, be thinking about how to implement those steps. Like, make a plan. Your business will likely only stand to benefit as a result. So don't panic. Ride out this roller coaster ride. We're all going to be on it together. And think about how you can build a great lifestyle alongside an AI integrated society. So whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on a podcast platform, I'd love for you to like and subscribe. There are tons of topics that we cover on this podcast, from health and wellness and life coaching concepts to spirituality and things that might affect the workplace. You name it, we talk about it. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you at the next level.